What's up, everyone, and welcome to ClearTalk. So in this, in this video, I was making sure something wasn't playing over the thing, and I just noticed in the corner. Um, in this video, we're going to be talking and going over all of the cabinet picks for Trump, 2024. They've been basically the list is complete, so we're going to go through each one of them. And some of them, honestly, I really do not know. I'm just going to, I'm going over, I've got this pulled up in Yahoo News. It kind of gives a little brief description of them. But those who I do know and have comments about, I will comment on. But other than that, we're just going to lay it out and just go over all of them. Like I said, a few of them I'm not even sure who they really are. So, anyways. Which is, who do we really know anyways? All right. Thank you very much for joining me. If you like the content here, please consider subscribing, like, share, all that good stuff. Check out my other channels. Check out me other channels over here. Got it. Check out the other channels: JMD Drummer, JMDPLAY, and the Discord there, one-time donations, and of course up above JMD Nation, Patreon.com. $3 a month there. Anything you support, decide to give for support, or whether it's $30 or nothing, or subscription or whatever, or subscribe, not a subscription. You don't pay here anyways. YouTube is free, but anything you do is much appreciated. Thank you very much. All right, so yes, we have all the picks are in. Now, keep in mind that as we go over these and talk about a few of them, keep in mind that these are nominees. Okay, they first have to be approved by the House or by the Senate. Yes, these have to be approved. Trump, of course, is trying to make his. We think we already talked about this in another video, but he's trying to weasel around some ways of trying to force the Senate to. What is it called? Oh my God, resign, like a temporary you know what I mean. Anyways, so that he can just sort of appoint some of these. I feel like there's, even though there has been some acceptance to that, I feel like overall there will be enough pushback to prevent that from happening. I feel like they will, because the Senate does tend to kind of revere doing these like approvals. They don't like or normally try to not do it, and just allow it to be appointed in their absence. So I feel like they're going to pretty much push to approve these. The thing is, they have to have like there's supposed to be like background checks done on all these people, and that's one problem that that's one problem with this whole thing, is that the Trump administration is, the transition team is really making it hard. And they're like, just today they finally or yesterday they finally signed the documents with the Biden team for the transition stuff. There's like a series of stuff that they're actually supposed to sign off on in the whole transition process. One of which they did today, which was like confirming with Biden's team as far as transferring, or I'm assuming for like coming into the White House and like um for like room designations and stuff like that or whatever whatnot, assignments to different things. Um them getting out, them getting in, stuff like that. I think that's the one that they sign off on today. But there's another one, I can't remember which that one is. But then the third one is a sign off with the for security stuff with the FBI and things like that, for to be background checks done on all the personnel and stuff like that, so that they can make sure there's no thing out of the way for or conflict of interest or anything like that with any kind of nominee. But there again, Trump is not his team has not done that yet, so they're still waiting on that, which can hold up if the from my understanding of Sonic, if the Senate, you know, it can hold up the Senate making this decision now. If the Senate has not been able to do this arraignment as far as like seeing the background checks and proving or disapproving or whatever by the time that Trump is inaugurated, then Trump can then just, from my understanding, he can just appoint people. So I don't know what's really. I don't know. I might be completely confused in the legalities of that or how that works, but it's in. I could be getting that wrong, so don't hold me to that. But that's the way it's come off to me, like that. That he could potentially just bypass them once he is in office. Um, but I don't know. It's. I feel like that's not completely accurate, but anyways. So yes, these people were supposed to be approved though by the Senate. A few of which have come up with some clear issues. As far as being appointed, but anyways, all right. So swap over here. So we have what we got so far: Agricultural Secretary Brooke Rowlands, the president and CEO of the American First Policy Institute. I think that is the. I want to say that's the other institute out that the. I could be wrong, but I think this is that is the institute that was like giving a plan to the Trump team for instituting certain policies and stuff like that kind of coincides with the Project 2025. Like, everybody was focusing on Project 2025 to begin with. And while I still think that very much is in play, at least to some degree, the American First policy, I think this is the other institution that has basically another. It's not quite as intense as the Project 2025, or at least is not as, I guess the word maybe comprehensive. It's not as big, not as large, but it still has a lot of comparisons, a lot of similar things in it, as far as policy, like suggestions for the administration when they come in. Anyways, I believe this is the institute that is under. So this is another part of that. So she's the president and CEO of the American First Policy Institute. So they already tells you kind of where she lies. A think tank for the former president, mained by previous staffers. Brooke Rowlands was part of Trump's Council of Economic Advisors in 2016. Rowlands launched a $10 million campaign against President Biden's economic agency, and spoke out in favor of Trump's second White House bid when it fell under scrutiny. The pick drew some surprise. Trump has been reportedly considering former whatever. That doesn't matter. Okay, so that's who they want for agricultural secretary. Honestly, I'm not completely sure what the agricultural secretary does and how she could affect that. Um, I mean, I'm assuming this has to do with, or clearly agricultural systems, whatnot. But what she actually would be in charge of, I'm not completely sure on that. But so I don't know how necessarily that. I don't know how much damage she could do potentially for that position. Um, I'd have to look a little bit more into that. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, Cantor Fitzgerald, Chair and CEO Howard. So we got another CEO, CEOs. Keep in mind the CEOs and the billionaires and all that stuff that you're going to see here in this list. Howard Lutnick is currently serving as co-chair of the Trump administration. Hold on one moment, please. Okay, sorry. I had to briefly pause and stuff. Okay, all right, we're going to continue. Um, so, yes, Howard Lutnick is currently serving as co-chair of the Trump transition. He is notably, uh, he has notably publicly, weird back to back, embraced Trump's tariff plans, which will be a major part of the job leading commerce. Lutnick, a longtime friend of Trump, is also in the short list to serve as Treasury Secretary. Then we have Defense Secretary Pete Lugseth. Alexith, whatever. This is the one from Fox and Friends. Uh, this is one of my probably most controversial ones here. An Army National Guard officer who did tours in Afghanistan and Iraq, earning 2 Bronze Stars. Lexith is currently a co-host for Fox and Friends weekend. Trump has pledged to fire generals involved in 2021 Afghanistan withdrawal and to eliminate woke initiatives that focus on diversity and equity in the military. The choice of Lexith came as a surprise even to some Trump allies, as the Fox commentator is not among the names considered in the running for the job. He is a um, extreme MAGA kind of person. I'm talking like uh, when the words like Nazi like, I know that's been thrown around a whole lot here lately, but if there's anybody in this whole list that truly arguably um is secretly Nazified or Nazi like, it's this guy. He has tattoos and stuff that represent certain things. He has made rhetoric towards different things that he's very, very pro Israel and very like he has made how do I put this? He has made comments about dropping, like he thinks that in order to show strength, we need to be like unapologetically militant, like to the point of finishing wars. He akin to dropping the atomic bomb on Japan. Uh, like that's what we need to be doing now to win wars. He does not have any like concern or care for humanity outside of himself and those he feels like he is on his side or whatever, I guess. Um, that's his, he says that he's basically has argued that our military is too weak and that we have weak mentality when it comes to wars. The reason why we are not winning wars, that in order to win wars, you need to do like we did previously. That's the kind of ideology this guy has, and he is defense secretary. He's fucking defense secretary. That's what he's being nominated for, to be over the Pentagon. Understand that. Next on the list, Education Secretary Linda McMahon. Okay, who led the Small Business Administration during Trump's first term, is currently serving as co-chair of the president's-elect transition. And Trump said he expects her to expand school choice to every state, and empower parents to make educational decisions for their children. Okay, this is the co-founder of the World Wrestling Entertainment with her husband Vince McMahon. That's right. You heard that correctly. This is those McMahons. The WWE co-founder. Wrestling. Yes, we have the co-founder of Wrestling Entertainment over our education as education secretary. I'm gonna let that sit with you for a second. Okay. This is a woman that has absolutely no educational experience outside of buying and lying her way into a school district seat for like a year in some whatever local state or something. I can't remember which one. She has no educational experience. She's purposely being put there to eliminate this position, to eliminate our Department of Education. That's what she's there for. Energy Secretary Chris Wright. Chris Wright is the CEO of Liberty Energy. Who is Liberty Energy, you ask? A fracking and oil field services company. Over our energy, as well as Trump donor. In addition to the role of Energy Secretary, Trump has said Wright would serve as the newly formed Council of National Energy, being led by Doug Burgum, his nominee for Interior Secretary. The Energy Department oversees oil and gas production exports, as well as the nation's nuclear weapons program. So this dude, CEO of Liberty Energy, is going to be our Energy Secretary. I think that's enough said. Health and Human Services Secretary, our big buddy Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Democrat turned independent, is an anti-vaccine advocate and environmental lawyer from the storied family of Democratic politics. Of course, the Kennedy family. He suspended his own presidential campaign and pledged his support to Trump in August. Yeah. He has founded one of the most prominent anti-vax groups in the country and has promoted the debunked claim that children vaccines cause autism. He has vowed to purge entire departments at the Food and Drug Administration to root out corruption. Now, I'm kind of mixed feelings on this one, because for me it depends upon what he decides to concentrate on. If Robert RFK, if he concentrates on this last thing, the Food and Drug Administration, and like corruption within it, as far as like things that are being put in our foods and stuff like that, we know there's a lot of stuff that is allowed in our foods that are banned in a lot of other countries because of health issues that they have been brought up. If he concentrates solely on that, okay, I don't feel like I'm going to have that big of a problem with them. because I actually agree that we do have a lot of stuff in our foods that probably don't need to be there. But if he starts tinkering around in our vaccine programs and stuff like that, these sort of more extreme things that he believes in or doesn't believe in, then we're going to have problems. Like I said, if he concentrates fully on the Food and Drug Administration, you know what? I would actually say have at it. Have at it and do what you want. Now, understand that this would mean that food prices potentially could go up, because if you take out a lot of these chemicals and different things that they allow in our food, which a lot of which is done because they are cheaper ways of making our food, but cheaper is not healthier. So that potentially we could see a small rise in prices, because I mean, like you normally see, a lot of your more healthier foods are more expensive. But I don't know. I think I could sacrifice food being a little bit higher if that's the reason why it's higher, and not because of just greed. Homeland Security. Kristi Noem. Having served as South Dakota governor since 2019, Kristi Noem is a loyal Trump ally and would help oversee his immigration crackdown in a second term. She was also in consideration for Trump's running mate before early excerpts of her book revealed she killed her hunting dog 20 years ago. Yeah, that was a big issue coming up. She was a dog killer and whatnot. I mean, I don't remember the things around that, but I don't. I think that's a little silly to worry about, but she is once again one of these super MAGAs, and over our Homeland Security. So she's a Trump loyalist. Housing and Urban Development Secretary Scott Turner, before he served in Trump's first administration as executive director of the White House Opportunity and Revitalization. Okay, I was told that's a hell of a word. Scott Turner was a football player whose NFL career spanned 9 seasons and ended in 2004. He's a former member of Congress from Texas. So, yeah, there you go. We got a football player in there. House and Urban Development Secretary. I don't know what he could really. I don't know. I don't know a lot about Scott Turner, so I don't know how much damage he could do, or potentially help. I don't know. So we're just going to continue on. Doug Burnham. This might be one of the lesser issued ones too. North Dakota Governor Doug Burnham endorsed Trump after ending his own presidential bid. I'm gonna, like I say, he is you're going to see a lot. That's the other thing you're going to see on here a lot is quite a few like losers, people who didn't, whether it was for a Senate seat or whatever, Congress seat or presidential, whatever. There's quite a few of them. And developed a strong political and personal relationship with the president-elect. I mean, granted, he is a governor, so it's not like he's always lost. He was among the finalists to serve as his running mate. Burgum has ties to the oil and gas industry and is expected to play a central role in Trump's push to increase oil drilling and energy production. Interior security. So, yeah, he's big in the oil and stuff industry, but he also has, when it come to, what was the other guy's thing up here? Yeah. There he Doug Burgum has some good ideas on like, I think when it comes to like green energy stuff, he I feel like, I think if I'm remembering right, he does have some decent like policies on that. Granted, I don't know how much he will even attempt to argue in that department, but Yeah, the oil and drilling thing, the drill baby drill shit is that's their whole like schnick, right? I mean, as if we're not already the world leading in drilling and oil production right now. And we are, you know, pumping out and producing more oil than we've ever done. So this is a null and void kind of argument. Labor Secretary Lori Chavez de Ramir. I'm not. I probably got that wrong. A Republican from representative from Oregon, who lost her reelection bid to a Democratic challenger earlier this month. So she's a loser. Had the backing of the Teamsters Union before she was officially picked by Trump to lead the Labor Department. She has served in city government in Happy Valley and is the first Republican woman elected to Congress from Oregon. So there you go. Labor Secretary Lori Chavez. I don't know a whole lot about her. So I don't have much to say about her. Marco Rubio, we know the Republican from Florida, is seen as a foreign policy hawk. Yeah. Who is tough on China and Iran. Yeah. His election is to serve as Trump's top diplomat. Completes a drastic turnaround from 2016 because he once, did a lot of like tough hate speech on Trump. He wasn't really a Trump fan, and Trump wasn't a fan of him. When the two were fierce rivals in the GOP presidential primary, Rubio was also in consideration for Trump's running mate this year, but lost to Vance, so he's a two-time loser. But no, yeah, he's a severe policy hawk, and is very much pro-Israel. So, he loves war. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. Look at there, another Fox Business or Fox Network host. A former Wisconsin congressman and Fox Business Network host Sean Duffy also appeared on MTV's Real World reality show series. That's cool. Around the turn of this century, he left the house in late 2019 after learning one of his children had a heart condition and has historically been a supporter of the president's-elect defending Trump's controversial, his no Muslim ban that had a lot of hate. So he's clearly one of those types. Don't know much about him though. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, billionaire investor. Look at there, another billionaire. Billionaire investor Scott Bessent is set to become the key leader of the president-elect's economic team. Ooh, a billionaire over money. Who thunk? Which will be tasked with imposing an aggressive tariff regime meant to shake up global trade while keeping financial markets calm amid the disruption. Bessent, former founder and CEO of hedge fund Key Square Group, really served as an economic advisor to the Trump campaign, often appearing in financial talk shows to argue in favor of the president-elect's economic policies. So yeah, a billionaire Treasury Secretary. Who would have thunk? Veterans Affairs Secretary Doug Collins, a former Georgia Congressman. George Collins was a chaplain in the Air Force Reserve and is one of Trump's biggest defenders in the House. He has served as a legal counsel for Trump, particularly in the MAGA movement's false claims to the 2020 election was stolen in Georgia due to illegal cast ballots. Collins was served as Air Force Reserve since 2002, and was deployed to Iraq in 2008 as part of the 90 whatever. Anyways, so yeah, Doug Collins. There you go. Veterans Affairs. I think he might be the one that actually was arguing against a lot of stuff for veterans. Actually, I think he may have been the one that, I could be wrong here, but I think he may have been the one that like doesn't really like our veterans hospitals and things like that. He's argued that veterans could go to regular hospitals and things. Like he's I want to say he's the guy that did that. I could be wrong. It may have been one of. There's somebody in this damn list that's like that though. I think he may have been one of them. That guy. So yeah, he's over Veterans Affairs. He's a veteran who apparently doesn't like veterans. No, he just doesn't like the support for veterans, or doesn't agree with it. Thinks it should be supported a different way. I guess I don't know if that's what you want to. If I'm strong manning him, I guess. Attorney General Pam Bondi. So this is the one that took Matt Gaetz' place. Trump announced Pam Bondi would replace former Matt Gaetz as his nominee for Attorney General after Gaetz withdrew from consideration earlier that same day. So that was last. I can't remember. Last Thursday, something like that. Last Wednesday. Bondi was the first woman elected to serve as Florida's Attorney General, where she heavily prosecuted cases that involved drug trafficking and eventually worked on Trump's opioid and drug abuse commission in his first term. That's putting it lightly. This is the woman that also defended what's his name? The damn what's his name? The one that everybody has been making a big deal about in the whole sex stuff, whatever. Anyways, she defended a lot of oh my gosh, that's going to drive me crazy now. I don't know why I blinked on that name. But she also helped Trump in some of his cases in Florida as well, getting rid of a lot of this. I'm blanking on that too. Oh my goodness. Anyways, she has helped him get off of stuff. She's helped a lot of people get off of stuff. She has no problem with getting corrupt. She's very corrupt. She has no problem with helping out people that are corrupt. And she's going to be the Attorney General. I can't believe that I'm just completely blanking on. Anyways. All right. And other key appointments. That was the cabinet. That was all the cabinet picks. Other key appointments: Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard. We all know Tulsi Gabbard. She's full of shit. CIA Director John Ratcliffe. Not very good guy either. Has served as a Director of National Intelligence for about 8 months. In the end of Trump's first term, has been selected to lead the CIA in his second. He is previously a congressman from Texas. Trump, in a statement, called him a warrior of the truth and honesty, blah, 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 blah. Served as a member of Trump's impeachment team during the Democrats' first effort to boot the then president from office. Yeah, he's not a very good guy. Office of Management and Budget Direction. Russell Vought. This is the guy over the Heritage Foundation's Project 2025. Vought has served as Office of Management and Budgets Director at the end of Trump's first team, and this is what he's getting again. After starting as the office's deputy director, he wrote the chapter on the executive office of the President of the United States, which largely references OMB in the or the Office of Management and Budget Direction in the Heritage Foundation's 2025 Project 2025. A government agenda failed with conservative priorities and insights from scholars. Yeah, so yeah, he's a part of Project 25. A main contributor to the Office of Management and Budget section of Project 2025. So, yeah, he's one to be watched. Surgeon General Dr. Jeanette Neshiwat, whatever, a double board certificate medical doctor Jeanette Neshiwat, whatever, served as a medical director at City MD, a network of urgent care centers in New York and New Jersey. She is listed as a contributor on Fox News website. Her website notes she has led medical relief missions in Haiti, Ukraine, and Africa. Yeah, she also is not very fond, if I'm not mistaken, on uh, vaccines and stuff. Or maybe that's this. No, I think it's her. She is also tied to a lot of weird medical um hysteria stuff and things like that. Like she certainly needs to be watched as well. Uh, CDC director Dr. Dave Weldon, former Republican representative Dr. Weldon, is tapped to serve as the director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. A medical doctor and Army veteran, Weldon was a 7-term lawmaker until 2008. While in Congress, Weldon served as several committees, including appropriations, health and human services, education, labor, and science. And he returned to practicing medicine and working as a consultant after not seeking re-election in 2008. I do not know a lot about this guy. I have no clue. Federal Drug Administration, Marty Macri, a Johns Hopkins surgeon who has espoused contrarian views about the COVID-19 pandemic. Marty Macri was picked to lead the FDA. He is a surgeon, oncologist at Johns Hopkins University, and an author. He will lead Trump's health arm under the guidance of RFK, who was tapped to head the Department of Health and Human Services. Yeah, I don't know a lot about this guy either. So, yeah. Not sure how that one should be concerning or not. Environmental Protection Agency Director Lee Zeldin, EPA. Trump's selection to lead the EPA is led Zeldin, a Republican former New York congressman and gubernatorial candidate who was a outspoken defender of the 45th president during his first impeachment trial in 2020. Trump mentioned Zeldin's legal background, a sign he will likely learn on the he will likely learn on the EPA to roll back environmental regulations. Yeah, that's what they're all about. Deregulate. So, your clean water, clean air, clean all that kind of shit out the window. Fuck all that. We don't care about that. Don't care about the environment. FCC Chairman Brandon Carr, currently a commissioner. Brandon Carr has been nominated to lead the FCC under Trump. He was first nominated to the FCC in 2017, and he was confirmed anonymously by the Senate in one of his first. I think this is the guy that's actually this may be the one that's worked through several administrations. Carr wrote on social media that the FCC would get rid of his diversity, equity, inclusion promotion. I don't know. White House staff, Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, we already know about her. She's the one that's over his campaign right now, or was over his campaign. Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller, another hawk, severe hawk. One of Trump's closest advisors during his first term, Stephen Miller was an architect of policies such as ban on travel in this he was a part of the whole Muslim ban thing. Yeah. The borders are Tom Homan. Yeah, he's talked about he was going to be hard and deport everybody. He doesn't care. And he was the one that completely supported the separation of children back in Trump's first term. He wasn't a part of it, but he completely was behind it, like accepted it and was for it, and it clearly seems to be still for it. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, another guy that's straight up warmonger too. Federal Representative Mike Wallace, an Army veteran who is the first Green Beret elected to Congress, will serve as Trump's top national security official, leaving the House after representing the Sunshine State since 2019. He has called for Europe to do more to support Ukraine and for the U.S. to be more stringent with its support, aligning with a key foreign policy goal in the president-elect. He's also been staunch critic of Biden's administration's withdrawal from Afghanistan. I don't know how much of these are really that significant. Senior Director for Counterterrorism, Sebastian Gorka. Not sure what they are. Sebastian Gorka will join Trump's national security team with a focus on combating terrorism. Gorka is a British Hungarian American. In his statement announcing the appointment, Trump taunted him as a legal immigrant. Gorka served in the first Trump administration advising the president on counterterrorism matters. Gorka was close with Trump ally Steve Bannon, but was forced out of the first administration when John Kelly became Trump's chief of staff. Now, White House counsel Bill McGinley, after spending more than 2 years as cabinet secretary during Trump's first term, Ginley will return to the White House as president-elect counsel. He was also served as general counsel in the National Republican Senatorial Committee. Trump, in a statement, said he's a smart and tenacious lawyer who will help me advance our America First agenda while fighting for election integrity and against the weaponization of law enforcement. Principal Deputy National Security Advisor Alex Wong, a staunch ally of Trump. Alex Wong was picked to serve as an assistant to the president and the presidential deputy national security advisor, the transition team announced. During the presidential election's first term, Wong served as a deputy special representative for North Korea. He later served as the deputy assistant secretary for East Asia and Pacific Affairs in the State Department. Trump praised Wong for helping to broker his summit with North Korea. Later, Kim Jong-un. Middle East envoy Stephen Witkoff, a New York businessman, will serve as special envoy to the Middle East. I don't really know much about him. Department of Government Efficiency, of course, that we've already went over there. The Doge. There's your other billionaires that are going to not technically be a part of the government, but give advisement to the government. White House staff Will Scharf. I don't know. Represent Trump as one of his lawyers during a hearing on presidential immunity during the Supreme Court, and was a regular on TV defending Trump amid his hush money trial. So yeah, he's worth he's not worth a shit. United Nations Ambassador Elise Stefanik, huge pro-Israel person as our ambassador. And of course, Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee. We've already talked about him. Ambassador to NATO, Matthew Whitaker. Okay. Whitaker, Trump's former acting attorney general, who filled the role in a crucial time amid Russia's war in Ukraine. Trump touted Whitaker as a choice who can strengthen relationships with our NATO allies. I thought I wanted to get out of NATO. Amid tensions over defense spending across the security alliance. So Ambassador to Canada, Pete Hoekstra, whatever. Former GOP Michigan representative Pete is Trump's pick as server as ambassador to Canada. I am very pleased to announce that former ambassador and former congressman has been nominated as my United States ambassador to Canada. He was respected in the state of Michigan, a state we won sizably. No, you didn't. You did not. You barely won this election. Withdrawals. Yeah, we don't go worry about him. Okay, so yeah, that is your full list of. That only took 45 minutes. Shit. Yeah, that is your full list of cabinet and House members. Uh, quite a few CEOs, quite a few billionaires, quite a few previous, losers. I mean, you even throw Tulsi and RFK in that list. People who are failed at some sort of presidential, campaign or Congress campaign or whatever. Quite a few of those. Um, warmongers. I mean, Trump previously in his last administration had the most CEOs and billionaires of any former administration, and it looks like he's going to have that as well this time. So if you think he's against this, if you think he's against the swamp, if you think he's against the establishment, against Wall Street, if you think he's against the billionaires, if you think he's against war, if you think he's all these different things that you think he's against, these picks tell you otherwise. I think everybody's going to be rudely awakened this time around, or rudely reminded of the previous, and it's just going to be a whole lot worse. Like I said, these are just nominees. They all have to be approved. Most probably will be, if not all. He's liable to pull strings and force all of them through, even if they do go through, through the Senate approval process. He's liable to try to push them through, force them through in some kind of way, making promises or making threats, one or the other. But yeah, there's your whole entire list. Check into them, personally if you like, especially in areas that you have the most concern about. Find out what they have done, what their history is, what they could do, what they've said that they would do. Yeah, it's not looking that great in my opinion. It doesn't line up with promises that he has made, or at least some of it. Yes, when it comes to the border, yes, that probably is the only thing I feel like, or destroying the administrative state. Those two things, it feels like these picks are right on target. And if that's what you voted for, then hell, you're probably gonna get what you want. But when it comes to the economy, when it comes to foreign affairs, I'm not so sure you're going to be that happy. I'm being quite honest. I'm not so sure. So yeah, let me know what you think of this list, and any of them that are, if you like me to break down specifically certain members or something. I mean, I guess I could do that. But yeah, that's your list. That's the ones that have been nominated. We'll see how many of them get through whenever that process happens, and we'll talk about it. And I mean, you saw, we've already had Matt Gaetz drop out, which is a whole different, that's like a whole nother thing. Like, he had so much baggage. It's ridiculous. And some of these other ones have some baggage that could really cause, I mean, Pete Hegseth, for one, I mean, he's got allegations against him, just like Matt Gaetz did. This is not, This is like the administration for baggage, sexual baggage and shit. I mean, RFK, he even has a history of it, although he actually admits to it, where the rest of them deny. But yeah, it's I don't know. I'm very concerned, but ain't much I can do about it. Thank you very much. Till next time, peace. This has been Clear Talk. I'm out.